Hello everybody and welcome back to another YouTube video. You know what time it is. If you've been here, I have been trying to do monthly TBR videos slash like wrap-ups to kind of give you guys my reviews of what I was reading, what I did read, what I rated them, and then kind of us doing our TBR jar picks together. First things first, there are a couple of things that I need to preface. It has been such a long time since I filmed, I feel like, because we are in the process of selling our house. A whole bunch of stuff has been happening behind the scenes. So I haven't really taken the time to film like I usually do and sit down and edit, and I felt like I have been lacking. When it comes to filming videos and editing them and uploading them. So I'm getting back into my routine. And then in other news, I read ACOTAR around fall time last year. I have a whole video of me reading the entire ACOTAR series. If you guys want me to link those videos down below, I totally can. Sarah J. Maas announced that she has ACOTAR 6 and 7 coming out, and it's making me realize that I have 10 months to get a jump on the ball of finishing all of her books, her whole list. I haven't read Throne of Glass and I haven't read Crescent City. I really need to hop on to reading those because kind of just been waiting. I feel like I'm just super intimidated because I don't know what order I should read them in. So if you guys have read that series, please drop your recommendations down below of what order you think I should read the series in. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into my reading wrap up. My reading month was terrible because, like I said, I've had a whole bunch of like house stuff going on. I feel like I kind of fell into a reading slump because I would just rather get stuff done around the house than reading. I'm very disappointed with how many books I read, but nonetheless, I did only read 3 books in February. Diabolical work on my behalf. I needed to at least read 4. I think I picked out 5 because I was so ambitious and I finished all of my books in January. I did unfortunately only read 3 books in February, but I'm hoping we are getting this video out a little bit later because I am filming this a little bit later, hoping with me doing audiobooks and hopefully getting back into the groove of reading, I can get some more books done. The first book that I finished was The Teacher by Freida McFadden. You guys, Freida McFadden never fails me. I don't think I've ever read a book by her that I have not liked. I love her writing style. There are times where I feel like I can predict what's happening, and I think a lot of that is just I've read tons of her books and I've read other thrillers that I just feel like I'm pretty quick to when I'm reading to try to solve the problem. But I did indeed rate this book 4.5 stars. The main reason was that I didn't give it 5 stars was it was so good. Like, don't get me wrong, it was so good, but I just, because I could predict some of the stuff that was gonna happen, I felt like it made it not a 5-star for me. This book was a page turner. I finished it in literally less than 3 hours. It was insane how fast I got done reading it. So I will say, like, it kept me entertained the whole way through. It was very fast paced. I got through it like nobody's business. One thing I will note, if you have read the synopsis of this book or you like know anything about it, it is about 2 perspectives. We're following the perspective of a teacher, and then we're following the perspective of a student. Eve, who's a teacher, and she is married to Nate, who is also a teacher. And then the other perspective we're following is Addie. While we're following Eve's perspective, we're kind of like getting this storyline of like her and her husband are kind of distant and there's a lot of things going on in their marriage. And then we're following Addie, and she has been known to be involved in this scandal involving a teacher. She's the reason a teacher got let go last year. And so we're seeing her like walk through what is going on at school where people are talking about her, and Addie ends up in Nate's class, which is Eve's husband, and some things are starting to go on there, okay? I just want to say there were times that I was reading this book that I felt so sick to my stomach while I was reading some of the stuff that was just going down. It was just the teacher-student relationship stuff that was just really upsetting my stomach, like reading about what's happened and like what was happening. I mean, that is the point of the book. Like, that is like the premise of the book, this teacher-student relationship and like why it's wrong and what happens and the consequences of the people around them. I just want to say, if you do read this book, the ending, the phrases that happen in the very last page of the book, I was shook, okay? I was shook to my core. I predicted one of the twisty things that was going to happen near the end, but I could not predict what was going to be said at the end. I moved on to doing a reread. I read The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. My main goal with reading this book was just because I needed like something fluffy, fun, something I know I could get through, and it was a reread. I think in the past I had rated it 4.5 stars. I would say it's like in that 4.5 star range. And the premise of this book is it's like a young adult like rom-com, so there's no spice, none of that. It's super cute, fluffy romance. I love it. I love everything that Lynn Painter writes. And basically we're following Emily's Valentine's Day, and there's just like, it is a drastic day for her, to be honest. Stuff just keeps going wrong, and next thing you know, she wakes up the next morning and she has to relive the day. So it is very much like Groundhog Day-esque, where she's literally reliving the day. And every single day that she wakes up, she keeps running into the same guy that she goes to school with, and this is Nick. And we're finding like these interactions between these two, and obviously you see like some stuff escalate. Lynn Painter just does it for me every single time. I love her books. Her and Emily Henry are so far up on my list. And last but not least, I had gotten the prompt, a book that I knew nothing about, and so I ended up choosing The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And let me just preface, I remember when this book was insanely viral. Like, I remember when everyone was reading it, everyone was talking about it. And so I thought, you know what? The hype of it has passed. I'm gonna give it a shot and just see what it's about. And if you don't know, it is a historical fiction. You're following two perspectives. You're following a magazine reporter, Monique Grant, and so we're kind of seeing it like opens up into her life. It's very mundane. She's kind of unknown. She's just been working this job for a long time, but no one like really knows who she is. And she gets a call from her boss saying that a ex-Hollywood, like huge Hollywood star wants her to do an exclusive interview with her. But then Monique finds out that when she meets with Evelyn Hugo, Evelyn actually has some secret plans for Monique and what she wants her to cover. And she basically wants her to cover her whole life story, and she's never shared anything publicly with the public before. I mean, she's been this huge Hollywood figure and she keeps her life very private, so people don't really know her. They only know what they see on the media. So I genuinely was so surprised how much I loved this book, because I really enjoyed the audiobook. I loved the audiobook. I would 10 out of 10 recommend the audiobook. I just thought it was super neat, like the way we would get the perspective, because it would be present day where Monique is living out her life, interviewing Evelyn, and then when Evelyn would start speaking, it would transition to almost like a flashback of just like her life and describing what was happening in the moment. And I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed like the descriptions of all of the galas that they got to go to, and the dress wear, and what it was like in Hollywood, and what it was like to be famous in that time. And so I really did enjoy it, and I was pleasantly surprised. I could not recommend it enough, but I definitely recommend the audiobook. I enjoyed it. I rated that book 4 stars, and the reason is it was like really good for my first historical fiction. It's really not a book that I've thought a lot about since I've read it, so I think it was a really good book to dip my toes into the water of historical fiction. Enough yapping about what I read. I read 3 books. My goal is to try to at least read 4 books this month. I think I can do it. I want to say we did cancel our Spotify premium because it's getting super expensive. And so I don't know how much longer I can do audiobooks for Spotify. So I'm going to take advantage of it while I can. And I'm going to try to do 4, maybe 5. I do think I'm going to try to do a reading challenge this month. And these books might be coming into play. I might be picking more books. So we'll see. I think we're just going to go with 4 for now. I thought about just transferring the books that I didn't read, because obviously if you watched my last video, I didn't read Fourth Wing and I didn't read Bride by Ali Hazelwood, which is fine. I kind of thought like, oh yes, I want to dip my toes into Fourth Wing and all of that, but because Sarah J Maas announced that her books are coming out, I really need to get her whole backlist done, because I want to have all of the world and like the storylines finished for now. I need a drink after just yapping for like 17 minutes straight. Now we move on to my favorite part. Book with a green cover. That would have worked so perfect for The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I'm gonna go to my want to read. I will say I'm very proud of myself. I have been trying to add more books to my want to read list because I felt like it was looking very sparse. And so I have been looking for books and adding books onto there. Ooh, actually, wait, this is a hockey romance, like a sports romance, and I was really wanting to read it. I would say that's a green cover. I just don't know what it's on yet. So we have Collide as a green cover. I don't know if Betting on You by Lynn Painter is technically a green cover. It's very much turquoise, but I'm gonna say that's a blue cover. Verity has some green on there. Whoa, the cover just changed. I would say it's more black and green. We could do Verity by Colleen Hoover. Yes. Oh my gosh. The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I have been wanting to start this series so bad. Okay, so it's between Collide and The Inheritance Games. Technically, Lauren Roberts books have green on them, but I would say they're primarily black. The First Order of Business. Is this available through Kindle? So we're gonna go to my Kindle app. Okay, so we are gonna type in the Inheritance Games. If it's okay, it's not on Kindle Unlimited. I'm gonna type in Collided really quick. No, what? Neither of them are on Kindle Unlimited. So now we go over to the next thing, which is Libby. So I'm gonna go through Libby. I know I have like a TBR section, and the Inheritance Games might be on there. It is, but is there a 22 weeks wait? Okay, let me look up if they have the other book. Several months wait. I'm gonna save that to my TBR. Oh, also in other news, this is like totally random. I started watching a bunch of series on Netflix now that we have access to Netflix, and I finished My Life with the Walter Boys because my mother-in-law recommended it. And I would very much describe it as like a yeehaw version of The Summer I Turned Pretty. I definitely like The Summer I Turned Pretty more. I then started Bridgerton. That show is like, I'm obsessed. I'm so obsessed with it. So good. And I'm already on season 3, and I'm gonna be very sad when I get to the end of it and I have to wait like everybody else does. And I'm gonna look up if they have it in person, because if they do have it in person, I'll go get it in person from the library. Okay, it is available in person. Okay. I think we're gonna do the Inheritance Games. So we found our first book. We'll get it in person. Now we're gonna move on to the next pick. This is the problem. I try to like grab one, and I grab like four different ones. Bingo book! I get to pick which book I want to read. Okay, guys, I fear this might be the time for me to start Throne of Glass. I'm either starting Assassin's Blade or Throne of Glass, but I think we're gonna go ahead and get a start on that series because I really want to finish it. Depending on what order I find, I'm gonna do some more watching videos of what order you should read it in, all this and that. This is just so fun. I'm gonna go like all the way at the bottom. Your current fave genre. So I think I'm gonna have Siri pick a number 1 through 10. Let's see. If she picks an even number, we'll have her pick Firefly Lane. If she picks an odd number, we'll have her pick The Nightingale. Hey Siri, pick a number 1 through 10. What is that? 6? What did I say? Even number? Okay, so we're gonna be reading Firefly Lane. These are gonna be some really big books. Last and final one. This might be the fastest we've ever picked. A book I want to reread. So we're not going to do anything that's recent. You know, sometimes when I go back to look at the books that I've read, I realize I used to literally just rate every book that I thought was so good 5 stars. I used to just hand out 5 stars like they were candy. Okay, I am feeling either an Allie Hazelwood book or a Emily Henry book because they're all around 350, 60-ish pages. I think I'm going to reread Happy Place by Emily Henry because when I read this book, I'm not going to lie, I feel like I was a little lost in the sauce. Like I didn't fully understand or wasn't really familiar with Emily Henry's writing style, so I just feel like there were times that I was lost in the story. Sometimes when I see other booktubers talk about scenes from that book, I'm like, did that happen? Or I see like little things on Pinterest and I'm like, was that in the book? I just feel like it might be good to, you know, do a reread. Especially since we're entering spring and summer, it might be fun to start picking up like warmer weather themed books. So we're gonna go back through all of the books that we picked. So for genres, we have, first up, we have The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is a YA mystery thriller. And then we have Throne of Glass, which is fantasy. Firefly Lane, which is contemporary drama / women's fiction. And then last but not least, we have Happy Place by Emily Henry, which is adult contemporary romance. So we have quite the broad pick. I'm actually so happy that I went with The Inheritance Games because I have been wanting to read that series and I completely forgot it was like young adult mystery thriller. So I'm super excited. And with that being said, we have 4 more prompts out of our jar. It doesn't seem like to me, it seems like it's getting low, but I think it's just because all the pages are starting to get folded up together. I'm gonna try to get through these books. There might be a reading challenge coming out this month as well. There may be a chance that we get through all of these and the jar might have to help us pick some more, but that is all I have for my reading wrap up and TBR. Once again, if you guys have any books or anything that you want to see from me content-wise. I have a bunch of stuff that I need to film and start getting on the ball, and like a lot of stuff is going on in our lives, but I am getting back into a routine and we will be having our weekly videos. I did miss an upload, so I apologize. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!